Title: Wake Up with Purpose, Go to Bed with Pride by AI Audiobooks Empire. Introduction: The Rhythm of a Meaningful Life. Every sunrise is a silent invitation to live with intention, and every sunset is a quiet reminder of how we chose to spend our hours. Life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the depth of meaning we bring into each day. To wake up with purpose is to rise with clarity, knowing that our actions are aligned with our values. To go to bed with pride is to rest with peace, knowing that we lived faithfully to those values. As the proverb says, a day well spent brings happy sleep. Each morning is a gift, each evening a reflection, and together they form the rhythm of a meaningful life. Purpose is the compass of the soul. Without it, we drift like a ship without a rudder, tossed by the waves of distraction and doubt. Pride, in its noble form, is the harvest of purpose. It is not arrogance, but the quiet dignity of a person who has done what is right, even when no one was watching. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right, teaches us that fulfillment is not about abundance, but about integrity. To live with purpose is to walk in truth, and to end the day with pride is to know that our truth was lived out in action. The measure of a life is not in applause or recognition, but in the silent victories of conscience. This audiobook is a journey through 12 timeless principles that guide us toward a life of meaning. Each chapter is a step on the path from dawn to dusk, from intention to fulfillment. Together, they form a rhythm: rise with purpose, walk with wisdom, labor with diligence, and rest with pride. The teachings you will hear are not new, they are ancient truths, whispered through generations, carried in proverbs, and proven in the lives of those who chose to live with intention. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Let these words be a lamp to your feet and a light to your path. To wake up with purpose is to embrace the day as a sacred opportunity. To go to bed with pride is to close the day with gratitude and peace. Between these two moments lies the story of your life, written not in grand gestures, but in daily choices. This is the rhythm of a meaningful life, a cycle of beginnings and endings, of sowing and reaping, of striving and resting. As you listen, may you find not only inspiration, but also conviction to live each day with clarity, courage, and joy. Let us begin this journey together, and may every sunrise remind you of your purpose, and every sunset remind you of your pride. Welcome to AI Audiobooks Empire, a channel dedicated to stories and wisdom that uplift, empower, and transform lives. Please like, share, and subscribe so you can continue this journey of growth with us. Now, settle in and let's begin. Wake up with purpose. Go to bed with pride. Chapter 1: The Dawn of Intention. The morning is more than a time of day. It is a metaphor for beginnings, a sacred threshold between what was and what can be. To wake up with purpose is to awaken the mind and spirit to the possibilities of life. The stillness of dawn carries a wisdom that the noise of midday often drowns out. He who rises early finds wisdom waiting, says an old teaching, reminding us that clarity often comes when the world is still quiet. The dawn is not just the start of ours, it is the start of choices, the moment where we decide whether to drift aimlessly or to walk intentionally. Each sunrise whispers, "Begin again," and offers us a canvas upon which to paint the story of our day. Intention is the seed of action, and without it, our days scatter into trivial pursuits that leave us empty at night. With intention, even the smallest acts carry weight. A smile to a stranger, a kind word to a friend, a task completed faithfully all become threads in the tapestry of a purposeful life. As you sow, so shall you reap is not merely about crops, but about the harvest of our daily choices. Every decision is a seed, and every seed bears fruit. The dawn reminds us that today's harvest will be shaped by the seeds we plant now. To rise with intention is to declare that our hours will not be wasted, but invested in meaning. The dawn also teaches us discipline. Rising with purpose requires resisting the comfort of idleness, the temptation to linger in sleep when life is calling us to act. It is the first victory of the day, a triumph over hesitation. Discipline in the morning sets the tone for discipline throughout the day. Lose an hour in the morning, and you will spend all day hunting for it, says a proverb, reminding us that how we begin often determines how we continue. When we master the morning, we master the day. And when we master the day, we master the direction of our lives. The dawn is not just the start of time, it is the start of destiny. And those who rise with intention rise toward greatness. Chapter 2. The Power of Discipline. Discipline is the bridge between intention and accomplishment, the invisible thread that ties dreams to reality. Without discipline, purpose remains a wish, a fragile hope easily broken by distraction. With discipline, however, purpose becomes a living force, shaping each hour into progress. The hand of the diligent shall rule, says wisdom, reminding us that consistency builds authority and mastery. Discipline is not punishment, it is freedom, the ability to choose long-term gain over short-term pleasure, to walk the narrow path that leads to fulfillment rather than the wide road of indulgence. It is the guardian of our goals, the silent strength that keeps us steady when emotions waver. Every great achievement is built on small, disciplined steps. The mountain is climbed one step at a time, and the book is written one page at a time. Discipline teaches us patience, for it is the art of steady progress. Rome was not built in a day, and neither is character. Each act of discipline strengthens the foundation of pride we will rest upon at night. The athlete who trains daily, the student who studies faithfully, the parent who provides consistently all embody the truth that greatness is not sudden, but cumulative. Discipline is the architect of resilience, the builder of habits that carry us through storms. It whispers, "Do not despise small beginnings, for they are the seeds of greatness." Discipline also guards us against regret. The undisciplined life is full of wasted hours and missed opportunities, a trail of intentions never fulfilled. But the disciplined life is full of fulfillment, because it is lived with intention. He who loves pleasure will be poor, teaches us that indulgence without restraint leads to emptiness, while discipline leads to abundance of spirit. To wake up with purpose is to commit to discipline, and to go to bed with pride is to reap its rewards. Discipline is the quiet victory of the soul, the assurance that we did not squander the day. It is the difference between drifting and directing, between wishing and achieving. In the end, discipline is not just the power to act, it is the power to become. Chapter 3. Wisdom as a Guide. Wisdom is the lantern that lights the path of purpose, the gentle flame that reveals direction when the road ahead seems uncertain. Without wisdom, discipline can become blind effort, a relentless march without clarity. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, says the ancient proverb, reminding us that discernment often achieves what brute force cannot. Wisdom teaches us not only how to act, but when to act, and sometimes when not to act at all. It is the compass that prevents us from wasting strength on battles that do not matter, guiding us toward choices that build rather than destroy. To walk with wisdom is to walk with light, and to walk with light is to walk with peace. Wisdom is found in listening, observing, and reflecting. The wise are not always the loudest, but often the most attentive. A fool despises instruction, but the wise listen and learn. To live wisely is to remain humble, knowing that every person and every experience has something to teach us. The child teaches innocence, the elder teaches perspective, and even failure teaches resilience. Pride at night comes from knowing we acted with understanding, not impulse. Wisdom whispers that silence can be stronger than speech, patience more powerful than haste, and humility more enduring than pride. It is the art of seeing beyond the surface, of discerning the truth hidden beneath appearances. Wisdom also protects us from folly. It reminds us that not every path is worth walking, and not every battle is worth fighting. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and suffer for it. Wisdom shields us from regret by helping us choose rightly, even when the choice is difficult. It teaches us that success without wisdom is hollow, and that failure with wisdom is often the seed of future triumph. To wake with purpose is to seek wisdom, and to rest with pride is to know we chose rightly. Wisdom is not merely knowledge, it is knowledge applied with discernment, courage, and compassion. It is the guiding star that ensures our purpose does not wander into vanity, but remains anchored in truth. Chapter 4. The Courage to Begin. Purpose without courage remains dormant, like a seed that never breaks through the soil. Courage is the spark that ignites intention into action, the unseen force that transforms dreams into reality. Fortune favors the bold, says the proverb, and indeed, opportunities often reveal themselves to those willing to step forward. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move despite it. Fear whispers of failure, but courage answers with possibility. It is the bridge between hesitation and progress, the silent strength that says, even if I stumble, I will rise again. Without courage, purpose remains a plan. With courage, purpose becomes a life lived fully. Every beginning is hard. The first step feels heavy, the first word feels uncertain, and the first attempt feels clumsy. Yet, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Courage is that step. It is the refusal to let hesitation steal the day, the determination to act even when the outcome is unclear. The painter must face the blank canvas, the writer the empty page, the leader the uncertain path. Pride at night comes from knowing we dared to begin, even when the road was unmarked. Courage teaches us that progress is not born in perfection, but in persistence. Each bold beginning is a declaration that fear will not dictate our destiny. Courage also inspires others. When we act boldly, we give permission for others to do the same. The flame of courage spreads, lighting torches in the hearts of those who watch. Be strong and of good courage, says ancient wisdom, for strength is contagious. To wake with purpose is to summon courage, and to rest with pride is to know we lived bravely. Courage is not only for heroes, it is for ordinary people who choose to act in extraordinary ways. It is the mother who perseveres for her children, the student who dares to dream beyond limitations, the worker who stands firm in integrity. Courage is the heartbeat of progress, and without it, purpose remains a silent song. With it, purpose becomes a symphony of action, echoing through the day and into the night. Chapter 5. The Value of Hard Work. Hard work is the soil in which purpose grows, the fertile ground where dreams take root and blossom into reality. In all labor there is profit, says wisdom, reminding us that effort is never wasted, even when results are not immediate. Work dignifies the soul, for it transforms intention into tangible results. Pride at night is often born from the sweat of the day, from knowing that we gave our strength to something worthwhile. Hard work is not merely toil, it is the sacred act of turning vision into substance, of proving through effort that our purpose is more than words. Hard work teaches resilience. The farmer who tills the soil knows that storms will come, but he labors anyway, trusting the harvest. Likewise, we must labor through challenges, knowing that perseverance yields fruit. The diligent reap abundance, but the slothful crave and have nothing. Work is the antidote to regret, for it ensures that even if success is delayed, effort was not wasted. The craftsman who hones his skill day after day, the student who studies faithfully, the leader who serves tirelessly all embody the truth that resilience is forged in labor. Hard work is the chisel that shapes character, the fire that refines strength, and the discipline that transforms weakness into endurance. Work also connects us to meaning. When we labor for something greater than ourselves, we find fulfillment beyond reward. The builder who raises a home, the teacher who shapes a mind, the healer who restores health all discover that work is not only about achievement, but about service. Whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might, teaches us that wholehearted effort is itself a form of worship, a way of honoring life. To wake with purpose is to embrace work, and to rest with pride is to know we gave our best. Hard work is not a burden, it is a blessing, for it allows us to leave behind footprints of effort that echo long after the day has ended. Chapter 6. The Role of Patience. Patience is the silent partner of purpose, the quiet strength that sustains us when progress feels slow. Without it, we grow weary and abandon the path, mistaking delay for denial. He that can have patience can have what he will, teaches us that endurance is often the key to success. Patience is not passive, it is active waiting, filled with trust and perseverance. It is the discipline of holding steady when the winds of frustration blow, the courage to believe that unseen growth is happening beneath the surface. Just as the river carves valleys not by force, but by persistence, so too does patience shape destiny. Life unfolds in seasons, each with its own rhythm. The seed does not bear fruit overnight, and the tree does not grow tall in a week. Patience teaches us to respect the timing of life, to honor the process rather than rush the outcome. To everything there is a season, and wisdom lies in knowing when to act and when to wait. Pride at night comes from knowing we endured faithfully, that we did not abandon the journey when results seemed distant. The farmer trusts the soil, the sailor trusts the wind, and the patient soul trusts the unfolding of time. Patience is the guardian of purpose, ensuring that we remain steadfast until the harvest arrives. Patience also guards us against despair. It reminds us that setbacks are temporary and that persistence eventually yields reward. The race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but to those who endure, says timeless wisdom. To wake with purpose is to embrace patience, and to rest with pride is to know we trusted the process. Patience transforms waiting into preparation, delay into growth, and struggle into strength. It is the quiet assurance that what is meant for us will arrive in its appointed time. In the end, patience is not only about waiting, it is about becoming. For while we wait, we are shaped, refined, and strengthened into the person capable of carrying the reward. Chapter 7. The Strength of Character. Character is the invisible architecture of a purposeful life, the foundation upon which all true greatness rests. A good name is better than riches, says wisdom, reminding us that integrity outlasts wealth and reputation endures longer than possessions. Character is built in the choices we make when no one is watching, in the quiet decisions that shape who we are when applause is absent. Pride at night comes from knowing we lived with honesty, that our words and actions aligned, and that we did not compromise our values for convenience. Character is not a mask we wear, it is the essence of who we are. Character is tested in adversity. It is easy to be virtuous when life is smooth, but true character shines when storms rage. The furnace tests silver, and adversity tests the heart. Trials reveal whether our values are genuine or merely convenient. The person of character does not abandon truth when pressured, nor forsake integrity when tempted. To wake with purpose is to commit to integrity, and to rest with pride is to know we stood firm. Adversity is the proving ground of character, the fire that refines and strengthens us. It is in hardship that honesty, humility, and courage are revealed, and it is in hardship that legacies are forged. Character also inspires trust. People follow those whose words and actions align, whose promises are kept, and whose values are consistent. Trust is the currency of influence, and character is the only way to earn it. The righteous walk in integrity. Blessed are their children after them. To live with character is to leave a legacy that endures beyond our days, a heritage of honor that future generations can build upon. Pride is the fruit of integrity, the quiet satisfaction of knowing that we lived truthfully, faithfully, and consistently. Character is not only the strength of the present, it is the seed of the future, ensuring that our lives echo with meaning long after the day has ended. Chapter 8. The Gift of Gratitude. Gratitude transforms ordinary days into extraordinary blessings, turning the mundane into the miraculous. A thankful heart is a continual feast, says wisdom, reminding us that gratitude is not a fleeting emotion, but a way of life. It shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude teaches us to see beauty in simplicity, the warmth of sunlight, the laughter of a child, the kindness of a friend. Pride at night comes from knowing we lived with appreciation, that we did not take the day for granted, but embraced it as a gift. Gratitude is the lens that reveals richness in simplicity and joy in the ordinary. Gratitude strengthens relationships, for it is the language of appreciation that builds bridges and heals wounds. A simple thank you carries the power to soften hearts and mend divisions. Give thanks in all things is not just a command, but a principle of joy, reminding us that gratitude is not dependent on circumstances, but on perspective. To wake with purpose is to notice blessings, and to rest with pride is to acknowledge them. Gratitude turns encounters into connections, transforming routine interactions into moments of meaning. It is the oil that keeps relationships from rusting, the melody that harmonizes differences, and the posture of humility that says, I see you, I value you, I am thankful for you. Gratitude also fuels resilience. When we count our blessings, we find strength to endure trials, for gratitude shifts our gaze from what is broken to what remains whole. In everything, give thanks teaches us that even in hardship, there is something to be grateful for, a lesson learned, a strength gained, a hope renewed. Gratitude is the anchor of joy, and joy is the companion of pride. It transforms despair into hope, weakness into strength, and loss into perspective. To wake with purpose is to cultivate gratitude, and to rest with pride is to know we carried thankfulness through the day. Gratitude is not only the seed of joy, it is the soil in which peace grows, the foundation upon which resilience stands, and the gift that keeps the heart light even in heavy seasons. Chapter 9. The Balance of Rest. Rest is not idleness, it is renewal, the sacred pause that restores the body, mind, and spirit. Better is a handful with quietness than to handfuls with toil and chasing after the wind. Rest is the rhythm that balances labor, the gentle reminder that life is not only about striving, but also about replenishing. Pride at night comes from knowing we honored the rhythm of work and rest, that we did not exhaust ourselves chasing endless tasks, but allowed space for renewal. Rest is the soil in which creativity grows, the silence in which clarity speaks, and the stillness in which strength is restored. Rest teaches humility. It reminds us that we are not machines, but human beings with limits. To rest is to trust that the world will continue without us, that our worth is not measured by constant activity. He gives his beloved sleep, says wisdom, reminding us that rest is a gift, not a weakness. In rest, we acknowledge our dependence on renewal, our need for pause, and our reliance on grace. Pride at night comes from knowing we respected our limits, that we did not burn the candle at both ends, but allowed ourselves to breathe. Rest is not surrender, it is wisdom, the recognition that strength is sustained by balance. Rest also prepares us for tomorrow. To wake with purpose requires energy, and energy comes from rest. Come unto me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest, is both a promise and a principle, teaching us that rest is the foundation of endurance. Pride is found in balance, in knowing that we gave our best in labor and honored ourselves in rest. Rest is the bridge between today's effort and tomorrow's strength, the quiet assurance that renewal is as important as achievement. To live without rest is to live half a life. To live with rest is to live fully, with vigor, clarity, and peace. Rest is not the end of productivity, it is the beginning of sustained purpose. Chapter 10. The Joy of Service. Service is the highest expression of purpose, the noble act of turning our gifts outward to uplift others. It is more blessed to give than to receive, reminds us that fulfillment often comes not from what we gain, but from what we give. Service is the act of pouring ourselves into others, of lifting burdens and brightening paths. It is the quiet strength of compassion, the unseen hand that steadies another's journey. Pride at night comes from knowing we made someone else's day lighter, that our presence became a blessing rather than a burden. Service is not weakness, it is greatness expressed in humility. Service teaches humility. When we serve, we acknowledge that life is not about us alone. We become part of something larger, a community bound by compassion and shared humanity. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. To wake with purpose is to seek opportunities to serve, and to rest with pride is to know we gave of ourselves. Service strips away selfishness and reminds us that our talents, resources, and opportunities are entrusted to us not only for our benefit, but for the good of others. It is the recognition that true success is measured not by possessions, but by impact. Service is the bridge between individual greatness and communal blessing. Service also multiplies joy. The smile of gratitude, the relief of a burden lifted, the warmth of kindness all return to us in ways we cannot measure. The greatest among you shall be your servant, says wisdom, teaching us that service is the path to true honor. Service is the echo of love, and love is the foundation of pride. When we serve, we discover that joy is not diminished by giving, it is multiplied. The more we pour out, the more we are filled. To wake with purpose is to embrace service, and to rest with pride is to know that our life touched others. Service is not only the joy of the giver, it is the healing of the receiver, the ripple that spreads far beyond the moment, and the legacy that endures long after we are gone. Chapter 11. The Legacy of Learning. Learning is the lifelong companion of purpose, the steady flame that keeps the soul alive with curiosity and growth. The wise increase in learning, says wisdom, reminding us that growth never ends, and that every day is a classroom filled with lessons waiting to be discovered. Each sunrise brings new opportunities to expand our understanding, and each sunset offers reflection on what we have gained. Pride at night comes from knowing we learned something new, that we did not let the day pass without adding to the treasury of our mind. Learning is not confined to books or lectures it is found in conversations, in failures, in victories, and in the quiet observations of life itself. Learning keeps us humble, for it reminds us that no matter how much we know, there is always more to discover. He who thinks he knows not yet as he ought. The truly wise remain students, open to correction, eager for insight, and willing to admit ignorance. To wake with purpose is to remain a student, and to rest with pride is to know we grew wiser. Humility is the soil in which learning thrives, for pride closes the door to growth while humility keeps it open. The greatest teachers are often those who never stop learning themselves, who understand that wisdom is not a destination, but a journey. Each lesson embraced is a step forward, each truth discovered a light that guides us further. Learning also builds legacy. The lessons we absorb become the teachings we pass on, and knowledge shared is knowledge multiplied. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. What we learn today becomes the inheritance of tomorrow, shaping the lives of those who follow. To live with purpose is to learn, and to leave with pride is to teach. The wisdom we carry becomes the wisdom we impart, and the truths we embrace become the truths we leave behind. Learning ensures that our influence does not end with us, but continues through the lives we touch. In the end, the legacy of learning is not only what we know, but what we inspire others to know, ensuring that the flame of wisdom never dies. Chapter 12. The Evening of Reflection. Reflection is the mirror of the soul, the quiet pause at day's end where we look back not with regret, but with gratitude and honesty. Examine yourself, says wisdom, reminding us that growth requires awareness. Reflection is the practice of holding our actions up to the light, of asking whether we lived faithfully to our values. Pride at night comes from knowing we faced ourselves truthfully, that we did not hide behind excuses, but acknowledged both our victories and our shortcomings. Reflection is not condemnation, it is clarity, the gentle reminder that each day is both a gift and a lesson. To reflect is to honor the day, to recognize its blessings, and to accept its lessons with humility. Reflection teaches accountability. It asks us, did we live with purpose today? Did we honor our values? Did we serve faithfully? Better is the end of a thing than its beginning, for endings reveal the fruit of our choices. The morning begins with intention, but the evening reveals whether intention became action. Reflection is the balance sheet of the soul, where we measure not wealth or possessions, but integrity and effort. To wake with purpose is to plan, and to rest with pride is to reflect. Accountability is not about perfection, it is about honesty, the willingness to admit where we fell short, and the courage to resolve to do better tomorrow. Reflection is the discipline of truth, the practice of facing ourselves without disguise, and the strength to grow from what we see. Reflection also prepares us for tomorrow. By learning from today, we rise stronger tomorrow. The evening is not the end, it is the seed of the next dawn. Teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Reflection transforms mistakes into lessons, struggles into strength, and victories into encouragement. Pride is found in reflection, for it is the bridge between past and future. the quiet assurance that we are growing, becoming, and moving forward. To reflect is to honor the day, to close the chapter with gratitude, and to prepare the heart for the next sunrise. Reflection is the evening's gift, the soul's renewal, and the final step in the rhythm of a meaningful life. It is this sacred pause that ensures we do not merely live days, but live wisely, intentionally, and with gratitude. In reflection, we find peace with the past, strength for the present, and hope for the future. Closing summary: the circle of purpose and pride. Life is a rhythm of beginnings and endings, of mornings filled with intention and evenings filled with reflection. Each sunrise is a call to rise with clarity, courage, and discipline, and each sunset is an invitation to rest with gratitude, integrity, and peace. Together, they form the circle of a meaningful life, a cycle of purpose and pride that repeats with every passing day. The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day. To wake with purpose is to embrace the dawn with resolve, and to go to bed with pride is to close the day with peace. This rhythm is the heartbeat of a life well lived. The teachings of discipline, wisdom, courage, patience, character, gratitude, rest, service, and learning are not isolated. They are threads woven into the fabric of each day. Each principle strengthens the others, forming a tapestry of meaning that endures beyond the moment. Teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Each day is a gift, and each night is a harvest. The morning is the seed of intention, the afternoon the labor of diligence, the evening the reflection of truth, and the night the rest of gratitude. Together, they remind us that life is not measured in years, but in the meaning we bring to each day. May this audiobook be a companion on your journey, reminding you that every sunrise is a chance to live with purpose, and every sunset is a chance to rest with pride. For in the end, the measure of life is not in wealth or recognition, but in the quiet victories of integrity, the steady progress of discipline, and the enduring legacy of wisdom shared. Wake up with purpose, go to bed with pride, and let your life be a testimony of wisdom lived and legacy left. Let your days be marked not by what you gained, but by what you gave. Not by how long you lived, but by how deeply you loved. For when the circle of purpose and pride becomes the rhythm of your life, you will find that every day is meaningful, and every night is complete. Thank you for listening. If this audiobook inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe to AI Audiobooks Empire. Remember, every sunrise is a chance to live with purpose, and every sunset is a chance to rest with pride. The end.